Hey everybody, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. This is another evidentiary video about the destruction of my property and how the criminals are intentionally sabotaging the river, stream, creek behind my house. So I'm going to show you, this is what it looks like, yes. This is what the property looks like. It's a hot mess. Cold, cold, cold. Lots of snow everywhere. So this is the little creek, not the big creek, not the county creek. This is the creek in back of my house on my property. And look at how the criminals have dug out underneath here. They dug everything out here, and you can see the rocks are gone. I put those rocks there this summer. They have dug out everything underneath here, and I know this to be true because it wasn't like that. Because I know about this tree. This tree here, 2 years ago, the criminals sabotaged it. They etched the letter M in this tree. I had somebody cut the top down so that it wouldn't rot away, and they've rotted it anyway. I mean, this is a difficult camera. This is a camera that they've sabotaged. But they have removed all the dirt under here. There's no dirt here. They did it all here. They did it starting from here, all the way here. We're talking about probably, I don't know, I'm going to say about 60 feet, maybe more. I was here shoveling some snow. I try to shovel the snow away from the property and let it go into the river here. Rather than it melt on my property, let it melt here. This is where it belongs, right? So I shoveled a lot of snow in here. And this is what they've done. All underneath that tree, all under here. And you can see it's all dug out. It's all dug out. And then they did some of it on this side too. They're trying to collapse. They're trying to collapse and create a lot of work for me and deteriorate the property deliberately. This is all deliberate, intentional sabotage. This property is worth a lot of money, and they know it. They know that the water on this property is invaluable. In fact, when people go searching for property, a lot of quote-unquote homesteaders, farmers, preppers say, if you've got 3 sources of water on your property, that is the property to buy. And I've got more than 3 sources of water on this property. And this is natural. This is, comes from the mountains and stuff. And it's actually very clean. But this is why they sabotage it. They're trying to collapse that portion into the creek. They're trying to destabilize the earth to cause these trees to fall in. There was nothing wrong with that tree when I moved here. Absolutely nothing wrong with that tree. There was nothing wrong with the creek when I moved here. But literally, after I moved into my house, which was middle of July 2019, they started vandalizing the property. They started working on the creek in 2020, 2021, deteriorating it. And of course, since I mentioned that I wanted to sell the property, they're going to work their asses off to destroy whatever it is possible. But I'm going to keep documenting it. And this is what they do to the knots on the boards here. Let me show you. Here, look. They burn them. They actually create knots where there were none. Like here. Look at that. And look at that. Doesn't that look like a scratch? Oh, doesn't that look like one of those Illuminati eyes? So this is what they've done. This is all deliberate, folks. All deliberate. These are evil people, just so evil. And I just want to say something for the record. I'm a little bit older than some of the other people who are creating YouTube videos in the targeting community, I've noticed. For the most part. Not always, just for the most part. So I've lived a lot longer. I've done a lot more. I've maybe accomplished more. Right? Just because I've had more years to do it. And I'm leading up to, I saw, it's still disturbing to me. And I know how very badly targeted people are treated everywhere, no matter what. No matter if you're a man or a woman, no matter your age, a child, a teenager, a 20-year-old, a 40-year-old, a 60-year-old, 80-year-old, doesn't matter. It's horrible everywhere. I mean, they killed my mother. They killed my animals. These people have no bounds. They're psychopaths. But we don't have to like everybody that's a targeted person. But we still have to have, I believe, maintain some sympathy and compassion. Just because this is an atrocity, it should not be happening to anybody. But on TikTok, and I've mentioned this before, there's a woman there. And I was actually going to send her money at first. I felt bad. I mean, nobody should be homeless in the bad weather and stuff. And again, I don't remember where she is. Oh, I'm seeing the criminals just took down a gutter. I see a gutter on the floor here. I'm going to have to repair that. I can do that myself. Anyway, it's over there. I'm not going to say her name. There are a lot of other targeted people here that go onto TikTok and probably know who she is. Oh my goodness, there goes my guinea flying in the tree. The guinea's like, nah, I'm not walking on the snow. Forget that, I can fly. But it's a woman. I'm going to say maybe she's in her 50s. And I do feel really bad for her, but she keeps posting this video that if you have a house, if you have an apartment, if you have a place to live, you're not a targeted individual. She's biting the hand that was going to feed her. Because that's just spreading nonsense, gossip. It's spreading, it's almost perp-like. Okay? And I'm not saying she is. I mean, I believe that she probably is a targeted person from the information that she's been posting about a homeless place that she was and what's going on there. But nevertheless, just because your circumstances are bad, it doesn't mean that other targeted people who live in an apartment or sharing an apartment or are married or have a house, it doesn't mean that they're not targeted. I mean, what goes on here is an atrocity. I mean, just like in Manalapan, New Jersey. I mean, before I became targeted, I was a very successful person. Like literally every business I started took off and did well. I was very well liked. I was hired, I did consulting work, all kinds of work. I was a divorced single mom. I worked 4 jobs sometimes to support my daughter when my ex-husband wasn't paying support, which was forever. So it really unnerves me that somebody can post something like that. That's discrediting targeted people, saying that if you have an apartment, I know about my subscribers. I know that a lot of you guys are not targeted. And maybe some of you guys may have been targeted or thought you were but are not. And maybe you know somebody that is, and maybe you're not targeted at all and you're just here because you're curious. And maybe you're a perp. But nevertheless, I know people who are definitely targeted that are not homeless. I also know people that are targeted that are homeless. I know that there are Vietnam veterans that are homeless. I know that there are divorced moms with children that cannot pay their mortgage that are becoming homeless. And our country is being invaded by people that are taking over schools and libraries and police departments for housing. When our Americans that have paid into the tax system for their entire lives have no place to go. So basically, we're all targeted. So I just wanted to say that. But I wanted to also provide this as an evidentiary video for what they're doing behind the property. So yeah, I am a targeted person. And maybe what's happening to me is not happening to you. If you have an apartment, I'm sure they're not tearing down the sidewalks around where you live. They don't belong to you. But I know for a fact, I know other targeted females, even older than me, that do live in a house And they show me what's going on. They show me the destruction of their trees, of their property, of their landscaping. Helena Chorba, who's no longer with us, clearly documented how they were destroying her property and all of her landscaping. They want to make it appear as if the targeted person is crazy and doesn't know how to take care of their property, when the criminals are sabotaging everything they do. I had 3 greenhouses that were torn down by these criminals. I installed a driveway that they sabotaged. They poured green moss all over my other driveway. It didn't exist when I moved here. But shortly after I moved here, it happened. It's so hard to remove. And then all this snow. Do you see the snow? This is Kentucky. This is Kentucky. My birds are not happy. I feel so bad. Oh, one of my birds, I'm going to have to put something on his wattles. He's the only rooster I have that has like really long wattles, and he's got some frostbite, I noticed. I completely forgot that he needed to be treated until I saw it yesterday. But yeah, I woke up this morning, it was 1 degree. And then when I went to shovel the snow in the back there, I noticed the damage that they did. I mean, it's hard for me to see everything that they do here all the time. It's every day, particularly on weekends. And I did notice, and it's hard to tell if it was an animal, like a larger animal, or a person with small feet. But I found footprints all in back of all these buildings, going all the way up to the road. So anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I did upload the extra long version of the testimony by Adrian Collum. What happened was, after I recorded part one, when I recorded part 2, I started at the wrong spot. I missed about 3 or 4 small paragraphs, so I re-recorded that. And Adrian was kind enough to provide me a link to a website that allows me to piece together the videos, so I created the long version. But in the lower right-hand corner, they have a watermark. I don't like that. I usually have my videos watermarked with my watermark. I didn't like it at all, but in order to get rid of it, I would have had to have paid a subscription fee. So I wasn't going to do that. And I'm not going to do this again. And I apologize to Adrian for missing those paragraphs, but it was a lot of work for me to sign up and piece them all together and download and upload and repost again. So I'm not going to do that again. You know, if I record a testimony, unfortunately, and if I miss a couple of paragraphs, I'm just going to leave it as it is. And what I'll do is, if there's something that I miss, I'll leave it in the description section. I just don't have the time. And I really don't want somebody else's watermark on not only your testimony, but on my YouTube channel, because I don't want somebody claiming that it belongs to them. And I'm sure you understand that. But anyway, this is Lorraine Alternative Homesteading. I just got hit in the head. Just right now, walking here from that direction. I was just hit on the upper left portion of my head from that direction. Maybe it was from that transformer over there. Just as I was walking here. It just happened again. It's got to be from that transformer up there. So I'm going to sign off for now. Get out of their way, these criminals. And I'm going to sign off for now.